Happy Tuesday. We're going to add the guys in here. At least I think it's Tuesday. We got George and we got Sean.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Frickin' Tuesday.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday already.
Yep. Pete's talking at the Quantico.
Oh, it's Quantico Tuesday then.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's Quantico General Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving a good speech. I understand.
Are we going to hear some news out of that, you think? Or is that going to be something that just...
I don't know. I leave that up to Pete.
Yeah, right? I wonder if
it'll be good. I mean, it's all going to be positive. It's so much shit going on, you know, but...
Good morning to the chat. We got some great folks in that chat already.
I love everybody in the chat. We don't even get trolls very often. Just every once in a great while.
They'll find out soon.
There's Mark's in there. There's some lady Trixie in the mix in there.
Yeah, she posts a lot in there. I gotta say something because I just noticed it. Mm-hmm. This isn't dirt on my face, just so you guys know. I just noticed there's a...
I can't see. For some reason, my screen's a little dim. I don't know. Maybe it's because of me. But
it might be. Maybe. Yeah. Are you dim?
It was a tree.
Did you walk into a tree?
I went face first on a log. I thought I put makeup on it, but I guess I missed a spot right here.
Oh boy.
So I just noticed it and I thought it was a shadow and I went like that and it's like, no, that's what it is. But so it's just so you know, I washed my face today.
Well, good. That's good.
Good. So I'm going to whip out a prayer here.
Yes.
I think that'd probably be a good way to start. Mm-hmm. So, and Nathanael said to him, can anything good come out of Nazareth? And Philip said to him, come and see. That's John 1:46. And people are easily impressed by titles and about what you do for a job and stuff like that. And the left, whether they're got a title or not, they think they're entitled. And so I thought that one kind of fit for today. So amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, we're supposed to have Trevor Loudon at about 9:15, so we'll see.
Okay, awesome. He's always a good guest.
Yeah, he is.
So we got a lot of people in the chat already. They're jamming in there. Look, we got Florida for Trump's in there. Jamie Burns, MK Hart. I don't see Born Arrival 45 in there though. What's going on?
I was in the beginning.
Is he boycotting?
I was the second one.
Angels Insider, USN Air. I think I mentioned that. Beach Cat.
See, it takes a long time for everybody to get
MK Hart.
Well, yeah, that's why I started doing. I put the placeholder up and then play music, a full song like that, and I think that gives Rumble time to send out that we're going live. So
yeah, almost 100 people in a row. That's good. That's good. We got some.
Did you want me to bring that clip up, George? That's what you put up?
Trayvon, this is a good introduction about what Trayvon definitely will speak about.
Okay.
I had some comments. What I wanted to bring up on my Facebook page, I put a brand new Israeli flag up, and some of the comments that are in there, I'm surprised these people. And I know some of them. I just can't believe the statements that they made.
Well, technically, you put it up at your house.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
right? And you posted it on Facebook.
Yeah. And what happened is people...
It looks good, that flag, by the way.
Yeah, it's brand new. The other one I always have it. I have it since October 8th. Mm-hmm. I put the Israeli flag on. So, but play this video. I think this will wake up a lot of people to make them understand.
You of the days to come, because they will not be easy. There are people among us today who might not be with us next year at this conference. And this is the reality. Because the liberation struggle requires sacrifice, and I know everyone here is prepared to make that sacrifice.
In May 2024, over 100 organizations gathered for the People's Conference for Palestine in Detroit, Michigan. More than 3,000 activists were in attendance. Speakers celebrated the October 7th massacre, called for resistance against the West, and mapped out a vision for the destruction of America from within.
The Palestinians who came to the United States understood their role immediately upon arrival.
We, the movement for Palestine in North America and across the world, are here to fight until victory.
This violent movement has been growing for decades. It's made up of groups including Within Our Lifetime, Students for Justice in Palestine, the Palestinian Youth Movement, and many others. After the October 7th attacks, anti-Israel groups in America were emboldened. They saw the massacre as an opportunity to intensify hostility toward Jews and America.
When I think about the USA, it should burn! Death to America!
As the movement worked nonstop to legitimize the Hamas attack, the activists openly flaunted their hatred of Jews and Israel through protests, vandalism, encampments, and violent assaults, both in the streets and on college campuses. Flags of terror organizations became commonplace in public spaces.
I support Hamas! I am Hamas!
We are Hamas! Yes, we're all Hamas!
Activists celebrated the brutality of the October 7th massacre, drawing inspiration from the barbaric acts of terrorism.
It was exhilarating! It was energizing!
Glory to our martyrs, our heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Look at this guy's eyes. He's Chinese.
I salute Hamas. A job well done.
On October 7th, Hamas declared war on Israel. On October 8th, their supporters declared war on America.
It is time to bring the war home! It is time to smash this empire!
The goal of the movement is not just to destroy Israel. Their primary target is the U.S.
Empire will fall! Empire will fall!
They call America the enemy, the beast, or simply empire.
We're in the belly of the beast. We're in the heart of U.S. empire.
We are here in the belly of the insatiable imperial beast.
Here in North America, in the U.S., the belly of the beast, the heart of empire.
We have to bring down this empire with 1 million cuts.
We will be hitting empire where it hurts most. Bring empire to its knees.
Dismantling the heart of empire is not easy, and it won't be rapid. But we know it's possible.
This panel, y'all, is talking about what is next. To strike at the heart of empire.
The Palestinian American pro-terror movement uses the word resistance as a euphemism for violence. And that resistance is to be accomplished by any means necessary.
We will resist by any, all means necessary. All means necessary.
The resistance, in all its forms.
Resistance, including armed resistance.
Normalized armed struggle.
They are not terrorists, they are freedom fighters.
Our noble, steadfast resistance.
Conference speakers outlined their strategy for bringing the war home.
I believe our fundamental role is to generate political and social crisis within the American ruling class. Mass mobilizations is the primary tactic. Street shutdowns, bridge and train shutdowns, airport caravans and shutdowns, encampments, building takeovers, targeting of weapons manufacturers, shutting down events.
We will be here in the streets, on our campuses, in our classrooms, in our workplaces every day.
We have made the situation untenable for the empire's ruling classes and the political establishment.
They have created a disruptive movement made up of students and faculty, turning young minds into anti-American extremists.
Our movement has helped transform students into revolutionaries.
Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, and other factions that fight American hegemony in the region. People who are 18 and 19 years old on campuses truly understand these ideas now.
Protesters target cultural and historical landmarks, seeking to destabilize the foundations of American society. They are openly hostile to law enforcement and engage in violent opposition toward the police. The influence of these organizations isn't limited to universities and public spaces. They've even reached the halls of Congress.
Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib.
We're going to move Congress, and we're going to move the White House. We're not going anywhere. Free, free Palestine!
The influence of these violent groups is growing, and they are working towards their goal of dismantling America.
Our struggle is a long struggle, and one that stands on the shoulders of thousands of martyrs and thousands of fighters who have committed and who are committing their lives to lay the ground for the revolution we see ahead of us today.
Gaza tells us to escalate for it. That can mean so many different things, but what I will tell you is we need to start sacrificing.
The threat of violence is not theoretical. In this war of resistance, all Americans are potential targets.
Genocide! Genocide!
These organizations are determined to achieve their revolution, whatever the cost, by any means necessary.
Resistance, by any means necessary.
If the enemy refuses that you die, it must be killed.
There is only one solution!
The Palestinian diaspora in North America has committed its martyrs for this cause.
Students have brought the war home.
It is either victory or death.
Either victory or death.
They're losing their ability to control us. And this means that now the gloves are off, and quite frankly, anything is possible.
It wakes up a lot of people. And
Wow.
I call this stuff a long time. People don't believe because Osama bin Laden said our own laws are going to destroy us. And we have to not make these people win. There should be not one Muslim in Congress or Senate. There's none in the Senate, but they're all in Congress. They should be removed because they do not honor the Constitution. They honor the Islamic law, and they're trying to push the Sharia law, and that's what was the mistake. And the plan was, as far as back as Clinton, they had the Muslim Brotherhood in the White House, and Obama continued it, and that's why he brought the Somalians here, the Dearborn. So,
well, we're breeding this in our colleges. As you
well,
can
we got Trevor on here, so let's.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Trevor on, but I don't think he's got his camera on. I'm not sure.
Oh boy,
I don't see him, but he's here.
Maybe it's not him then.
Ah, there's Trevor. That's
There
what it
he
was
is.
with the camera. I can see
The
that.
specialist,
I
the
think
specialist
you're
of what
muted,
we're
Trevor.
talking about. The specialist of what we're talking. We can't hear you. Yeah, bring that mic closer. Yeah, bring your mic closer. No, I don't. We still don't hear you. It's mute. Take your time.
I don't know. That clip was good, George. That explained everything that was going on. I mean, what a good primer.
Yeah, I took the.
We can't see. We can't hear what Trevor.
I know. We can't hear you, Trevor, if you're talking.
Trevor, maybe come out and come back in. Maybe.
Yeah.
I took notice of that guy's comment from the university: death by a million cuts, right? And that's what they want to do, and they're breeding in our universities and our colleges. We're breeding them here.
Yeah, we're just falling asleep here, and if people don't understand that, it's going to be really, really, really bad. And it's not. It's going to be. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to stand by and do this shit.
But George, I don't want to cut you off, but you said we're falling asleep. It's actually worse than that. We're helping them. We're breeding it here. I mean, we're not even falling asleep is like not knowing what's going on. We know what's going on, and they're giving them a platform to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's even worse than that.
That's why all the money, it's the money and the funding. That's what the problem is.
Well, that and Antifa is starting to band up with the Muslims and everything too. So you've got both of them working together, and that's
Did you notice how many Chinese people were in those? Those protests?
Chinese, Antifa, and then you've got
why? No, but who are the Chinese? The Chinese are ones that are brought here for China to keep the turmoil going. See, people keep on blaming. Yeah, people keep on. Everybody puts the contrast on Soros, and Soros. Yeah. It's a lot of China. Oh, he's back.
No, we still can't hear you.
Your mic is muted or something.
Well, I don't see it muted here.
Yeah, it's not muted on our end. It would be on his end. Do you have your volume up? No, can't hear.
You can hear us, right? You don't have anything muted down there, like the mic muted or something?
That's weird because it's not showing muted on my side, so it's got to be on his end. Oh, bummer.
Unless you do a reboot on your computer, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. They always tell you that when you call the tech department, right? The IT department. Did you reboot your computer? Can you hear us?
Yeah, he can hear us. Yes, he can.
Yeah, we just can't hear him. I don't know why. Notice saying hit the test your mic thing. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Where's that? Right? Yeah, I don't know where.
I don't know either.
Cider, where's test your mic at? Where's that at? Universal saying restart. Kind of like I'm one of you do a whole reset, right? Oh, now you got the mic.
Oh, the mic was just there, yeah. And it was muted on your side. Let me see.
You know what, Trevor? When you come in on the link on this, it asks you to allow access to your mic and camera. Obviously, you have access to your camera, but I'm not sure if their computer is doing it now. American Mark saying yes, Trevor. Oh, Trevor's gone. Mark saying that Trevor needs a reboot, so maybe he's rebooting.
While he's doing that, I want to play this clip. It kind of goes along with what George played, and this should scare everybody, especially after seeing the Palestinians.
It didn't get reported on, but I promised you we would talk a little bit about Al Qaeda and a little bit about the telecommunications thing at the UN. And I'm going to try to be very, very, very careful with what I say because I don't want to freak you out at all. But I'm going to tell you things that I've heard. All right. So the director of the United States National Counterterrorism Center, his name is Joe Kent. He's a great guy. I've had him on the show before. Great dude. Former Green Berets. He's talked about this openly. There has been a lot of chatter that Al Qaeda is planning something. What I've heard is they have flooded into this country, courtesy of Joe Biden's open border, right? Open border is a national security threat. They flooded into this country. They are in every major U.S. city. They are planning, hopefully it can be stopped and broken up. They are planning some sort of an attack on as many soft targets as they can find. It's not just the initial attack that the chatter is talking about. It's the secondary attacks. You know how the secondary attacks are a very real thing in terrorism. In Iraq, you know, they would set off an IED, and then they'd wait for ambulances and everyone else to show up, and they'd set off a secondary, the secondary attack. The secondary attack phase of this, according to the chatter, is going to be things like hospitals. They have become aware of the mass procurement. They're purchasing first responder uniforms. First responder uniforms, police uniforms, medical worker uniforms to create additional confusion. I can want to stress, don't change how you live your life. I am not trying to freak you out. I don't do that. I'm not trying to do that. I did, however, feel obligated to bring awareness of this to you, that the threat of jihadi terror, once it's gone enough time without a terror attack, we tend to think they're fine. They're done. It's gone away. Yeah, it's been since the Obama years since we saw a lot of that going on in our country. That's back when ISIS was inspiring a lot of that on the internet, surprise, surprise, in other places. I just wanted you to be aware that, and they're already talking about cities like New York, Los Angeles, Houston, where I live, that there could be something bad on the horizon. Now, they are aware of it, right? Our National Counterterrorism Center is talking about it. They're aware of it. I'm sure they're tracking everything down to try to stop it before it happens. But I wanted to tell you about it in case the worst happens.
See, and that came out September 16th from the ODNI office, and it's not getting that much airtime, but it's going. But the story is going around that's what their intentions were, and I thought that was kind of important to play after that, so that everybody's kind of aware of what was in that terror bulletin memo that went out, and that's what was in there. So
Laura Loomer was talking about that as well last week.
Yeah, it came out on the 16th. So it's right from the horse's mouth. So it's not like this is rumored or anything like that. It's actual real life. So we're going to try Trevor again and see how that works.
Oh, I hear.
Oh, we can hear you.
I hear the chair.
Did Trevor take my IT advice and reboot?
Hello. We see you. We hear you.
Yeah, I think he moved to a different computer.
Good morning.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, we can. Thank you for joining us with all the trouble you had this morning.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Thanks. Yeah, this is not such a good visual, but
your words are important today. So we're trying to figure out why is there so much hatred against Israel.
Yeah, well, just one second. James, I'm on a show, so if you try and keep baby out of this area, because you can be seen on the camera, just out of this area.
Try to keep the baby out.
Yep, I'm happy to talk about that, guys.
Well, you're a man of many words of wisdom.
Yes, well, I've certainly studied this area a lot, so happy to.
We just had a clip up that was.
I saw it. Yes.
Did you see it? What do you think of that?
Well, yeah. Look, I noticed two clips. One was the Muslim guy at the Detroit conference talking about anything is possible. There's going to be, some of us may not be here at the end of the year. Another guy, the other chap, talking about secondary attacks. That I'm expecting terrorist attacks in America before October, probably going into next year, and secondary attacks. They'll sabotage, they'll create an incident, and then they'll attack ambulances. They'll attack first responders. They will, like in the Bali bombing, for instance, back in 1996, they set off a bomb in a nightclub area. Then when people ran away from that bomb, they had a bigger bomb in the area they were running to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to be situationally aware, and sometimes it might be better to sit tight in an area. But yeah. Look, I think it's all credible. I think Biden let so many of these people across the border. The October 7th, the war against Hamas in Israel is inflaming the communists all over the world, and they're getting ready to exact some retribution. Trump's playing pretty hardball right now with Hamas, as is Israel. Iran's taken a major beating, and they want to push back on American soil. Absolutely. And backed by the Chinese and the Russians to some degree.
Yeah.
How about Antifa working with the Chinese and then working, with the Muslims and everything? You think they're all really going to band together, or do you think they're going to do their own separate thing?
I think there'll be some degree of coordination, yes. We know that Antifa has some cells have gone to the Middle East to work with some terrorist forces in Iraq and Syria and that kind of thing. We know that many of the communist groups who are allied to Antifa here, the Freedom Road Socialist Organization, for instance, which did the George Floyd riots and the LA riot recently. That was their pro-Chinese Communist Party. They have strong links to China. They have strong links to Venezuela, and they work with many of what we would call Antifa as well. So yeah, there's a lot of coordination here. Plus, we also know there's actually, Chinese military-age men here that have come across the border in large numbers as well. So we've got our homegrown people. We've got Hamas. We've got Hezbollah. We've got Antifa, and we've got the Chinese and Cubans and Venezuelans too. All of it is here on our soil, waiting for the green light, effectively.
Yeah, that's the kind of the things that I was concerned about, because we're going into the Christian holidays and everything like that. And what better way to make a mark and terrorize everybody is than wait and, like they did before, where they drive the vans into Christmas parades and stuff like that. I mean, you're going to have to be really highly vigilant this season. I mean, really.
Yeah. Look, I think this is going to kick off any day. Look, for a year now, I've been predicting political assassinations and terrorist attacks this year. And of course, we've had Charlie Kirk, the 2 kids who were murdered out by a communist outside the Israeli embassy, the health executive, several attacks on ICE personnel around the country. So I think this is only going to get worse. And I applaud President Trump for unleashing the FBI instead of going. I know that it's going to mean a lot of people going to PTA meetings won't get monitored anymore, and that'll be very dangerous. And I know that they won't be able to go after the conservative Catholics anymore, because they'll actually be going after real terrorist threats. So yeah, I applaud President Trump. Just have to do this stuff. I was being a little facetious there. Just the FBI has been so misdirected in recent years. The FBI hasn't been able to go after communists now for 25 years.
Yeah.
Seriously. The last time they went after communists was in 2000. That was an aberration in 2011, when they rolled up a whole bunch of members of the Freedom Road Socialist Organization for working with the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine and Latin American terrorist groups. But Eric Holder dropped that prosecution because a lot of them were a lot of the people arrested used to work with Obama in Chicago.
Wow. Yeah, if that isn't something to really turn your skin on something. I mean, those people are all so corrupt and everything. You wonder, some of them are groomed to be, into that position and everything, but you wonder what kind of personality some of these other people have that they're willing to do some of those things.
Yeah, well, look, we're breeding. There's a generation of lost kids out there who have been drugged up a lot of their lives, either with prescription drugs or illegal drugs. Many of them are fatherless. They're often some gender confused. They're embittered against their own country. They've been told their own country is a terrible, racist, horrible place that got rich by ripping off the third world. And the only way they can redeem this original sin they're born with is to strike out against the empire. And so they're easy meat for these Antifa groups and Marxist groups and Islamist groups. And the Islamists are just, they're recruiting 24/7, amongst the Muslim Student Association and Students for Justice in Palestine, etc. This is a serious internal threat we're facing, and it's been ignored for way too long, and the FBI has been misdirected and really doesn't know where to start with a lot of these groups, I think.
You can find it, if you're interested in his books, they're available on Amazon.
Yeah, my books are on Amazon. Most of my books focus on American Marxism, how they've infiltrated the Congress and the Senate. I expose a lot of senators and congressmen. But or you can go directly to my website, trevorloudon.com, because there you can get signed copies, and a lot of people, use those for gifts.
Yep. Yeah, they're good books.
Thank you. Yeah, George has been to several of my events in Florida, you know, where I've sold books, etc.
Mm-hmm. No, very great information in them. I'll tell you that much. Wakes up a lot of, hopefully wakes up a lot of people, especially. But it's amazing how people will not believe what's happening. They can't believe the enemies and stuff. So.
Yeah, well, that's correct. You know, and that's our biggest problem is, you know, America. You grow up in America. You live in the freest, richest, most benevolent country the world has ever known.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of think everybody thinks like you do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize there's a lot of bitter and twisted people out there.
Yeah.
And their philosophies are now prominent in our universities. So our kids, you know, well, the classic example is that young kid in Utah. You come from a wonderful family by the look of things, and he gets sexually twisted and gets embittered, and he goes out and kills Charlie Kirk. You know, how embittered do you have to be to do something like that?
You have to be pretty unhinged and unbalanced and pretty much brainwashed to be able to take a life over just words and ideas.
Yeah. And this seems like it's happened over the period of a couple of years. This wasn't years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
He was a normal kid for most of his life.
Yeah, it's wonder. You wonder if it's, you know, some of these people are desensitized to stuff. I mean, there's so much things that are shared, videos online. I mean, everybody, you know, they were talking about that on the local radio the other day. Everyone saw that Charlie Kirk video. You didn't even have to search for it. You were looking through a social media feed. It came up too many times that you would want to even see.
Yeah.
You know, is society getting a little desensitized to things? I mean, you know, you think about it. If you went to throw a rock at somebody's house, that takes a lot of balls, let's say, right? Just to throw a rock at somebody's house, let alone shooting a bullet at somebody for, you know, just because you disagree with them. That's
right. But if you've been growing up on video games most of your life, blowing people up every day, but then they get up and run away, you know, it's, you know, we're breeding a generation of drugged up, unbalanced, fatherless boys who are taught to hate their country. So it's not surprising that some of them will act out, and then they want to get the bigger score body count than the people before them. You know, there's a, how do I make my mark in history? I got to kill more people at the school than anyone else has. I got to do something more egregious. I got to kill kids praying in a church.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got to reach the depths. I got to get worse and worse and worse. Who's the most popular person amongst my peer group? Charlie Kirk. Well, there you go. You know, there's a target right there.
Who's the most dangerous elected official right now, do you think? That was coming from the chat. We had a question.
Good question. That's awesome.
Yeah, the most dangerous elected official, I would say, probably Rashida Tlaib.
Yep.
You know, she'd be right up there. She's communist and an Islamist. But at a higher level, I would say someone like probably Rosa DeLauro from Connecticut. You don't.
Oh, that's the lady with the purple hair, correct?
Yeah, that's right. But she's she works with the Communist Party, and what she does is she's got the job of selecting people for committees. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she'll put people on the intelligence committee. She'll put people on the you know, the armed services committee, and she's a communist, hardcore.
And goes to Cuba, she's a she. Are we sure she's a she?
Well,
I don't know what
well, I'm not going to get into that. But who
that's
knows?
questionable. That's questionable.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. I mean, I don't know if it's a clown or what, but I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah. Well, so the most obvious dangerous elected official would be Rashida Tlaib. But unobvious, I'd say another one would be Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, who also works with the communists very heavily, and of course our friend Adam Schiff.
Ugh.
Now, see, this is the,
I knew that.
Trevor, I have him right here, Trevor.
Oh, yeah.
Watermelon head, yeah.
Watermelon head. Well, it's green on the outside, red in the middle. You see.
Yeah.
But he was the one who went on and on about Trump-Russia collusion. But all through that time, he was working with, and he says he's a friend of Israel, but all through that time, he was working with some extremely radical Muslim groups, and with the committee of 100, which is Communist China's main influence operation in America. So he was working with top Chinese organizations all the time. He was calling out Trump for his Russia collusion. I didn't see one Republican or anybody call him out for his Chinese connections, his very, very deep Chinese connections. If he can go after, if he can lie about Trump, about Russia, why can't we tell the truth about him and China?
Yeah, well, that's why we go to that. That's why we go to that Smith-Mundt Act that they put back in again about them all lying. They could all lie. As far as the fake news media, Congress, the Senate, they all could lie. They don't have to tell the truth.
Well, that's why, we got to re-bring in loyalty oaths. We've got to enforce them. We've got to enforce the FARA Act. A lot of these Congress, I say there's about 100 current congressmen who are so enmeshed with the Iranians, the Chinese, the Cubans, the North Koreans,
there
and
should
the
be
Muslim
no Muslims
Brotherhood.
in there.
Yeah, well, they couldn't pass a background check to drive a school bus. At least 100 in the House and 30 in the Senate who couldn't pass any form of minimal background check.
Wow.
They wouldn't be allowed to work in the post office.
That's really scary.
Expand on that. That's interesting. Expand on that.
Yeah, well, that's what I write my books about, House Un-Americans. That's a series of 6 books that profiles over 90 current congressmen, and my book, Security Risk Senators, who profile 30 currently serving senators. So if you look at it logically, if you were Xi Jinping and you wanted to bring America down, which they does, and destroy us and occupy our country, would you want to risk a multi-billion-dollar trade war, which you might lose, or a multi-trillion-dollar shooting war before you're quite ready? Or would you rather spend a couple of $1 billion bribing and getting American congressmen and senators elected who do your work for you? What would you rather do?
Yeah,
there's at least 6 senators working with the Iranians very deeply, about another 10 Congress members working with the Iranians, like Jan Schakowsky would be one. And then there's a whole bunch, about 40 working with the Cubans, and a whole bunch more working with the Chinese. Like Judy Chu in the House, she basically runs the Southern California Chinese community for the Chinese Communist Party. Grace Mong has a similar position in New York. Ilhan Omar was accused in court of being a Qatari agent.
I remember that.
Yeah, but it never went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, we see Rashida Tlaib, we see AOC being crazy, but AOC goes down to Latin America to work with communist groups in Latin America. I repeat my claim. I could give you a whole list of them. Rosa DeLauro works with the Cubans in the Communist Party. Jan Schakowsky was a former member of Democratic Socialists of America, works with them. Jerry Nadler was also a former member of Democratic Socialists of America, and pardoned terrorists, Weather Underground terrorists, got them out of jail, who then went on to run Black Lives Matter.
You could do a whole show just on this.
Yeah, I could. Danny Davis from Chicago works with the Communist Party and Democratic Socialists of America. Jeff Merkley, the senator from Oregon, works with the Cubans and the Iranians. I could go on, and there's more of a case you bring a name up, and I could tell you who they work with, because,
How about Swalwell? Eric Swalwell.
Swal Fang Fang. Yeah, well, he has connections to the Communist Party, but he also, we know, was seduced by Christine Fang, or Fang Fong, who was a Chinese agent, a bona fide Chinese agent, who also seduced a couple of Midwestern mayors, worked with Judy Chu, worked with a whole bunch of Bay Area politicians. But interestingly, in my book on Kamala Harris called Stealth, I have a picture of Eric Swalwell spy Christine Fong with the Chinese consul in San Francisco, and the only 3 of them in the photo, and the other guy is Russell Lowe, who was Dianne Feinstein's spy.
Wow.
So all three of them in one photo, just together. Now,
They know
Dianne
each other.
Feinstein, she had she was on the House Senate Intelligence Committee. It was revealed that one of her top aides, that book was called the Book of the Century by the anti-Christian, anti-communist crusade. It deals the whole Chinese takeover of the Democratic Party. The Chinese run the Democratic Party today. But Dianne Feinstein, when it was revealed that Russell Lowe was a spy in her office, she said, "Oh, well, he was just my driver. He was her office manager. He was her most highly paid staff and was getting Defense Department documents across his desk." Now, that was revealed, but he was never prosecuted, and she was allowed to keep her position in the US Senate. Nothing happened at all. There was an Iranian intelligence ring revealed in the Department of Defense and the National Security Council 2 years ago. It's still there. Those people are still in position right now.
Yeah.
At one point, there's 3 Pakistani brothers were caught running the servers of 40 left-wing Democrats, the computer servers, people serving an armed service, intelligence committee, and those guys, one of them was prosecuted for a small offense. They're allowed to leave the country, and not one of the Democrats that they were working for and running the service for was even investigated for it.
Well, yeah. What was that? It was the woman from Florida, wasn't it, with the real curly hair? I'm trying to remember.
Wasserman Schultz.
Yeah, Debbie Wasserman
Debbie
Schultz.
Wasserman Schultz. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just basically gave him a free pass.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that because we were all thinking, well, everything's going to hit the fan once that computer got taken and everything, and nothing came of it, really.
Yeah. They were allowed to go back to Pakistan. So what I'm saying, I repeat my claim, and I'll repeat it endlessly. There's 100 members of the U.S. House. And when the Democrats are in power, these are all committee heads. Every major committee in the last Democrat Congress was run by a Marxist of some kind. Every single one. Armed services, intelligence, education, environment, all of them, whole lot. And it's very similar with Biden's cabinet. Most of them are Marxists too. Deb Haaland from New Mexico, Pete Buttigieg from Secretary of Transport, who really, didn't help a lot with the border, I've got to say. This is our big problem, because the FBI has been misdirected for 30 years now, since the Church Commission of the 70s. They weren't allowed to investigate communists anymore. And the CIA is controlled by liberals and socialists, and the media in this country will not go after the left at all.
No.
We are completely infiltrated by the Chinese and the Cubans and the Russians and the Iranians to a very, very high level. That's why we got an nuclear deal with Iran, because of the Iranian influence in our Senate. That's why we weren't allowed to drill our own gas, because you had so many Russian and Chinese agents in the Senate. They blocked it, and that's why you can't go after these people, because they block the investigations. And Trump's starting to going after Antifa and that. He needs to go after not just Comey, but a whole bunch of senior Democrats, a whole bunch of them.
I don't think any Muslim should be in Congress.
Well, you look at it, when I came to this country from New Zealand, I had to sign an oath that I'd never been involved in any radical or communist group that sought to overthrow or undermine the US Constitution. But if you believe in Sharia law, you are automatically trying to undermine or overthrow the US Constitution. That's 100%. A given. Because Sharia law must be supreme above all others. That means supreme over the US Constitution. And if you're a good Muslim, you're working to that. So how can Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib or Andre Carson swear loyalty to the Constitution? They swear on the Quran, by the way, not the Bible.
That's right.
And so absolutely. I think it's no communist should be in Congress, and no Sharia compliant Muslim should be in Congress either.
It's a shame they don't use the law against it, though, because there was that anti-Muslim law that is on the books, but they don't enforce it.
Well, like they've still got a Communist Control Act in Congress.
Mm-hmm.
You can go after them. There's a lot of laws we could use. Like, for instance, if you're a radical and you cross a state line to partake in a riot, like they did at Ferguson, Missouri, like they did during the George Floyd riots, like they did in the recent LA riots, that's a 5-year jail felony.
Mm-hmm.
If you go from Nevada to California to participate in a riot, you're up for 5 years in jail. Now, had they applied that when they burned Ferguson, Missouri down, when they brought 10,000 people from out of state to burn that town down, do you think we would have had the George Floyd riots after that? Because most of those people wouldn't have done their 5 years by then.
Exactly.
It's the same people. So, we got plenty of laws. In California, it's still technically illegal to be a communist and a teacher in the California public school system. It's illegal. Well, in practice, you got to be a communist to serve in the California public school system, pretty much.
Just to be in the teachers union, the way Randy Weingarten.
Well, the teachers and Randy Weingarten, a former SDS, Students for Democratic Society. But like in California, their history book curriculum is written by a little group around a guy called Dwayne Campbell. And he got himself in that position over several years. He writes the history books for the whole California system, and they're all about Cesar Chavez, and they're all about, all about various communist movements. And he's a Marxist, a member of Democratic Socialist America, like AOC, like Rashida Tlaib. And his books, because it's California, books in the California system get picked up all over the country.
Yeah.
So he is writing the history textbooks for people and kids in North Carolina and New Jersey and Kansas and Missouri. We are so infiltrated, so massively infiltrated. And I don't think Trump realizes quite the extent of it. I'm sure the FBI doesn't, because they haven't been monitoring this for 20 years, or more since the 70s, really. But we are massively infiltrated, and that's why we struggle to get things done. Why do all these judges keep striking down Trump's, executive orders and laws? Because the Ninth Circuit and others have been infiltrated by communists now for 50 years. All these judges are communists.
Yeah.
They were 70s Maoists. They went to law school. They joined the National Lawyers Guild. And the National Lawyers Guild, which was set up by the Communist Party, infiltrates them into the bench, and then they elevate each other. They promote each other. So you got this Marxist mafia serving in the legal profession. And then we have all these George Soros type DAs around the country who won't prosecute shoplifting, won't prosecute solicitation, won't prosecute rioting. And so that's why Antifa and all these rioters can do what they damn well like in Philadelphia or
Krasner in Philadelphia. He's horrible.
Yeah, he's horrible, and he's a Marxist, hardcore Marxist. As well. And then you've got the same situation in Chicago. You've got the same situation in several major cities. All our problems basically spring from Marxist infiltration.
Yeah.
The transgender problem, that's a Marxist thing. Our open borders,
Antifa.
That's a Marxist thing. Antifa is the military wing of the Marxist movement and the Democratic Party in this country. The Antifa started out in Germany as the military wing of the German Communist Party. So, and it's the same here.
So, Trevor, I'm in New Jersey, and we just had our governor candidate debate a couple of weeks ago, and I was there. And the Democrat candidate said that they were talking about, I guess, ICE with the masks, right? That she wants to remove the masks from the ICE agents, but they never ever you hear them ever say about removing masks from Antifa rioters, right? You never.
Yeah, well, that's right. They get a free pass.
Yeah,
you did dodge a bullet, and because in New Jersey, Ras Baraka, the mayor of I think it's Newark or Jersey
Newark,
City?
yeah, Newark.
Yeah, he ran in the primary as well. And he is a hardcore Communist Party supporter. His mother and father were both in the Communist Party.
Wow.
But yeah, Mikey Sherrill isn't too much better.
No.
But you make the point. Yeah. Why is ICE got to be out there with their faces out there so people can throw acid in them and take photographs and track them down and harass their families? But Antifa's can wear their masks all day long.
Yeah.
You know, it's because she's on the left. She's a radical. Despite her military background, she is a radical leftist.
Yeah, I know someone whose brother served apparently with them. Somebody I know through a friend, and they said she wasn't even a good helicopter pilot. So that's a whole different.
Well, maybe not. She was involved. Her and her husband were both involved in the big cheating scandal.
Yes.
Back in the day when they were in Naval College or whatever it was.
Yep.
You know, but this is the thing. The Democrats have made a conscious program to steer their candidates into military service, so they can run with these veterans. You see, they're all commies.
Yeah.
But the guy out in Colorado is a good example of this. I write about him in one of my books. I just can't remember his name right now. But DeLuzio in Pennsylvania is another one, ex-naval guy, but as communist as you can get. So even you sort of look at it, he's a veteran. He's a Democrat, but he's probably going to be all right because he's a veteran. No, they're deliberately recruiting veterans, left-wing veterans, because the Democrats have got a patriotism problem, and they want to pretend that they're patriots. So they like Spanberger, ex-CIA, and Virginia. So she's ex-CIA or something. They recruit the Alyssa Slotkin running in Michigan.
Her too,
they recruit these
Benang
people
Dick,
deliberately.
right?
Well, wasn't it the elections? I think it was 2016 or 2018. There was quite a few CIA that were run into offices. I can't remember which election it was. It was midterm or general, but there was quite a few that got slid in back then. I remember.
Yeah, Alyssa Slotkin was one of them. Spanberger was another. Then they've got they had Connor Lamb in the military. They had Alexander Vindman, of course, who's now a congressman from Virginia. So the Democrats realize they have a patriotic problem, and now you see they've been told they got to use bad language now, because that means they're more working class. You see,
they called me up for training.
Yeah. This is.
Are you training them, George?
How cynical they are.
Are you consulting with them, George?
Yeah, I'm trying to teach them masculinity.
Yeah. Well, George's pretty consultant with them now. Yeah, but this is how shallow the Democrats are. They got to coach their people how to swear so they can sound, they can relate to blue collar workers. So they think, how insulting,
Yeah, it's like kissing the butt of the demographic they need. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they will kiss anybody. Like Obama pretending to be Christian, all of this kind of thing. They look at the demographic. They look at their electorate and the demographic they have to get elected in, and they tailor their message accordingly. Like
or Tampon
Kirsten. Oh, sorry.
Or Tampon Tim trying to look like he's a man.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, that was too far. That was a bridge too far. That was way too far. But like Kirsten Gilliland, the senator from New York, when she was in upstate New York as a congresswoman in a conservative area, she was regarded as a conservative Democrat. She would talk about gun rights. Then she became senator for the whole of New York. Now she's a commie. Yeah. She was always a commie. It's just she was in a district where you couldn't be a commie.
It's a chameleon.
Tim Walz, when he was in southern Minnesota in a pheasant hunting area, was a relatively moderate Democrat. As soon as he became governor, he became a commie because it didn't matter anymore.
You want to shut his nuts off.
Do you think this is the new world order, like the infiltration from the UN, like with the Marxism and everything? Is it that going into the countries, or is it like a whole group, do you think?
Well, it's all the factors, My friend Frank Gaffney says it's the three colors. You got the blue for the globalists, the red for the commies, and the green for the Muslims. And all of them like John Hickenlooper, the senator from Colorado. He's an old commie, in his younger days. Then he became a businessman, a wealthy brewery owner. Now he's a senator. But he's been to the World Economic Forum 5 times in a row. Every year he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Every year, never misses. Then he goes to China, and then he goes to Cuba, where he had a meeting with one of the Cuba's top intelligence officials. So they have their foot in all of these camps. These camps all overlap, because their common enemies, their two common enemies are United States and Israel.
Yep.
That's their two. You take down Israel in the Middle East, that gives them control over the Suez Canal and the traffic through that, and that's very important to take down Europe. Very strategic. They got to take Israel and they got to take America. It's not an accident that these two countries are the most under attack right now.
Yeah. Hey, Trevor, you got to come back again?
Yeah, I love coming back. Yeah,
if
it's
you
always
don't mind.
cool.
I appreciate it because we're running out of time on the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry I came in late.
No,
It's
it's fine. No, it's fine. It just
we gotta have you back more.
Everybody
your
appreciates
stuff
you.
is gold.
Yeah, well,
everybody in the chat's going nuts. They like you.
You have to get his book. I'm telling you, they're very informative.
Yeah, Trevor
I've been listening to them along the
Loudon.com.
Yeah.
Look, I not boasting, but my books on the communist backgrounds of the Congress members, nobody's done what I've done in that field.
That's right.
That really dug deep into Adam Schiff and Chris Murphy and Jerry Nadler and Raul Grijalva and his daughter Adelita, and virtually, if you live in America, you've probably got a communist congressman in your state somewhere, or several if you're in California or New York or Illinois. But even if you're in Kansas, Sharice Davids works with the Communist Party, regarded as a moderate Democrat in deep red Kansas, but she works with the Communist Party.
Trace, put the one up with the bacon. See if Trevor will get a kick out of that one. Hey, Trevor, there was a gun shop down here that he will not sell you a gun unless you had a piece of bacon, believe it or not.
Really?
Oh, that's a clever idea, isn't it?
I would have bought a lot of guns there because I love bacon.
Yeah, you go there especially. Well, give me the bacon, then maybe I won't buy the gun today. I'll come back tomorrow. Yeah, but that's
I
very
get a gun
clever,
and a
isn't
side
it?
of bacon.
Yeah.
No, it's true. The guy, because there were a couple of Muslims started coming in to buy stuff, and he wouldn't sell it to them.
Yeah,
The whole big thing was
good on
coming
them. Good on them, and
Yeah,
commend
yeah.
them for being responsible,
Yep.
You wouldn't want to sell guns to people that then killed your neighbors, would you?
Yeah.
No.
That's true. Well,
Or
All right.
first responder uniforms.
all right. Thanks a lot, Trevor. And we'll get you back again. All right. Appreciate
Yeah.
you very much.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks,
Trevor.
guys.
It was a
Thanks
pleasure to have you on this
George
morning.
and Sean, always
God
good
bless.
to be on.
Thank
And
you.
make sure you're doing a good job with the babysitting.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Your son
All right.
set you up really good. Bye.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay,
God
okay,
bless.
guys.
God
See ya.
bless.
Bye-bye.
All right.
He's
We'll be back tomorrow for Wednesday.
He's
And then
awesome.
Thursday we got Andrew Phipps coming in.
Tomorrow
Maybe.
we'll cover a lot on this Muslim shit that I call it.
Muslim shit.
Now you know that the photo that you put up with all the things about their faces. I had that during the time of Obama when he had
Yeah.
the Muslim Brotherhood in there. Oh, we gotta get off. It's 1:05. I gotta go vote.
Yeah.
You know?
So
That's why you got a special
everybody
election
want to
today.
head, huh?
George
What?
got a special election today down in Florida.
Yeah, Bryce all the way. Bryce.
What county, George? What counties is that?
It's Hernando, Pasco, and Citrus. It's
Okay.
3 counties. It's District 11. But they got a, what do you call it? The guy is the one that's there's a guy that's a politician, and this guy Bryce is not. I endorsed him because I interview. I don't endorse anybody. You know that. You still don't want my endorsement. So it's okay.
Who?
You.
Me? I want your endorsement, sure, but it's not like a big. It's a local election. I don't know.
Yeah, there's people who know who you are. So it doesn't.
Yeah, they either know who I am or not.
Chucharelli was very excited about getting out.
I saw that. I should have been there for that. I should have been there, but I talked to Mike yesterday afternoon. I gave him a call. He was getting.
Yeah, he was he was very excited about getting that thing. I mean, you know, they were very well known throughout the United States. That's
yeah,
one thing.
that's
So,
right.
all right, everybody.
I wore the shirt a few times. Yeah, and I mean, not I wore it a few times, but a few times I wore it. People said to me, "Oh, I know that group. I know that group." So I said, "Well, I do too." I said, "Because I'm friends with the big guy." I said,
"Yeah."
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, and if you want any,
I know him, but I got the big guy with me all the time.
That's right. Saddle up, Cowboys and Muslim is going to be.
Okay. Well, they're raiding the Mike Schwartz show,
Right,
so
all right, Raiders.
we're heading out. See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh, hit the like button on your way out.
Yeah, too late now.
No, it's not. I haven't hit end stream yet.
Oh, Mike's at a hotel. You know where Mike